Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back. My name is Cal. We've got another POE video for you. I just wanted to give you guys like a build diary final farewell to my cast on crit Mjolnir Squire Inquisitor that I've been playing the last couple of days. This build is pretty incredible, but it does have a lot of downsides in my opinion, considering the amount of currency invested. Just looking at the screen here, or looking at my inventory rather, you already know that there's at least 400 plus exalts in 2 items. So it's kind of underwhelming when you put a character like this together, and there's a lot of detail that goes into this, a lot of effort that it takes to be able to run these kinds of auras, fitting them all in together, specific items that you have to really try to throw together, and an insane amount of jewels and cluster jewel investment. So when I think about all of this, putting it together, it really just kind of, it should have a lot more damage in my mind, but really the downside is really just Mjolnir is just not in a good state right now. It's not in a good place, rather. It needs a lot of improvements. So, but before I continue, just remember, if you are watching this video and you'd like to help the channel out, please leave a like on the video and leave a comment down below if you think I was out of my mind to spend 800 plus exalts on a Mjolnir build. But yeah, let's continue on. And of course, subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. So this character essentially came together because I just really wanted to push Mjolnir, and I haven't really used it before. So I wanted to see how much I could get out of it. Unfortunately, when I really wanted to use Mjolnir, it didn't really have the option of the Squire. So I just decided to wait until I could really try to push it a little bit, and I was delaying as to whenever I'd really want to play it. I wasn't going to do it last league because I did our Akali's Fang with the Squire last league, and this league I said, let's take a look here and see just how far we can really push this build. Now, overall, the investment on this character, as I mentioned, is over 800x. So where does the 800 exalts come from when you don't include, if you remove the Mageblood and the Squire from the equation? Squire, I believe, is going for 90x. Yeah, so 90x for Squire, and I think Mageblood is still going for about 360 plus exalts, right? So that's okay. So we have about 450x or more. I'd have to actually inspect the Mageblood prices. I haven't looked at them for a while. I'd have to inspect them to actually confirm the overall price. But either way, I would say half of the budget is in 2 items. So where does the rest of the budget come from? Well, realistically, it's just from items that are either super expensive to craft or just super rare. So like my Onslaught on Hit Ring was 30x for the base, and then I just crafted this up myself with essences, got lucky on the resistances. I annulled successfully, and I crafted on percent damage. So the boots are double elevated, tailwind and cooldown recovery boots with some movement speed, some good life, and cannot be frozen. Cost about, I think, about 15x to make, maybe less, probably less than that because I did get lucky. And the gloves were about 3 to 4x, nothing insane there. The helmet was 3x at the time I bought it. The chest was 2x. So I'll throw up a bunch of numbers on screen going over the overall cost of this character. Maybe I'll throw it in the description as well. But really, a lot of the currency that was spent really went into the jewels, and that's the voices. I spent 75x on 2 voices, 3 passives alone, just having 2 of these. And the 2 small cluster jewels were about, I think, about 20x total. And the medium clusters here are just pressure points and quick getaway over and over again, 5 times. I have 5 mediums like that. So all in all, it's a lot of investment for the character, I would say. Unnatural Instinct I bought for 10x. I paid 21x, I think, for Melding of the Flesh with Corrupted Blood. So there's some big ticket items there, but I will throw as much as I can remember up on screen and leave it up on screen for you guys to kind of get an idea as to how much this all kind of cost. So the pros and cons of the build. Pros are, it's pretty fun to play. It does have a decent amount of clear speed attached to the arc chaining, which is really nice, and it has pretty good boss damage. But pretty good to me is more of a con when you think about the investment. But it still does have good boss damage, and sometimes you can have a tankier build that's still really good at bossing, and you can do it successfully without dying. Now, the biggest problems for me on this build is even with Mageblood giving me a good amount of attack speed, crit, regen and armor whilst having insane amounts of chaos res, cold res, and fire res, plus taking less damage from both of them, this build still doesn't have a great amount of defense. Now, you would think that when you see 52,000 armor, which is an 89% physical damage reduction, 20k evasion, which is 71% chance to evade, and I've got Mind Over Matter with Eldritch Battery, 1900 energy shield, good recovery overall because I'm an Inquisitor, and my Ascendancy essentially allows, Consecrated Ground to really, really feel good. It just, overall, to me, the way I look at this character, I probably would never push Mjolner like this again, and this was just a one-off situation. The build is really, really fun, but just, you're still not able to do Simulacrum Wave 30, and I think that's the biggest thing that always frustrates me. I know that Simulacrum Wave 30 is probably the hardest content in the game, but it's really difficult to accept that when you put 800 plus exalts into a build that you're still unable to do that. Now, again, the build is really, really good, great clear, and I will show highlights of some things that I was able to do on this build. I won't be able to include the Feared because I need to have someone who can actually do my Atziri. I tried running Atziri and I'm just dying to reflect instantly. I was trying to see if I could position maybe the ball lightning to make it a little bit easier, but it seems like no matter what I do, I'll always have to reflect on that. So I wasn't able to get the Feared and be able to do it, but I'm sure the build can definitely do it because it has a good amount of damage at the end of the day, and it's good enough where you can comfortably do these things. I just feel like with this kind of investment, you should be essentially deleting, and I know that it's really the fault of Mjolner more than anything else. This item is just underwhelming in general. I feel like it should have a lot more. It should have a lot more to it than just triggering and dealing some lightning damage with some skills chaining. There should be something else to it because you're asking a lot of attribute investment and you're not really getting that much back from it. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the build overall though. I mean, I've got some really, really good gear, I would say, and the character is pretty complete. I could obviously do one passive voices, which would allow me to get some more life. I could also invest into Arcane Expanse potentially for some more AoE and spell damage. There's some things I could probably do, but one passive voices is just not going to happen, and I don't think it would even be worth it for this character. So I'm going to include my profile in the description, as I usually do in every video, but in this specific case, I will do a path of building as well, because I'm probably going to break this character down and sell as much of the items off as I can, because I do have some Spark champion gear that I want to throw on, and I'll have to level a character for that. But all in all, I had a good time playing this build. I wouldn't invest that much currency into Mjolner ever again. It was just a one-time thing because I had never used the item, so I wanted to use it. And I'm sorry about that, that was a timer. But I just wanted to use it and just see if it was worth my time. But ultimately, I don't really think it's worth this kind of investment. It was cool to see all these auras, to be able to use all of these auras through reservation and scale my aura effect a good amount to raise my max res using Melding of the Flesh. I thought that was really nice. And it was nice to be able to put all of this together, as creating a character on this game can sometimes be really enjoyable when it all comes together and it all meshes really, really well. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment if you think I was out of my mind to put this much investment into a Mjolnir build. And I will show you guys some gameplay now of essentially how the build looks and how it plays in some of the harder encounters in the game. So thanks for watching. My name is Kal, and I'll see you guys in the next video.